I am so very pleased to welcome you all here on this beautiful day in Newport. Senator Reid, Senator Whitehouse, Secretary Kelli, former Congressman David Cicilline, fellow college and university presidents, including Rear Admiral Walker, President Whalen, Rear Admiral Johnson, Salve trustees, faculty, staff, students, and members of our extended community, including our Mayor's Eye, Senator Oyer, our Newport Council members, and many of our local leaders here today. Welcome to Salve Regina University and the 2024 Forum at Newport. We are so happy that you are here. We're gathered today to grapple with the national security consequences of climate change, whether they manifest themselves as increased migration in the Americas and around the world, disrupted military operations, worsening humanitarian crises, intensifying extremism, scarce vital resources, or, and perhaps this is the most likely outcome, some combination of all of the above. The questions we hope to gain insight into today focus on the direct impacts on the United States and our allies, and whether there are strategic openings for the U.S. amidst the dynamic forces at play. To put it simply, our agenda today is ambitious, and we've assembled a truly remarkable lineup of world-class experts to help us all deepen our understanding of this enormous challenge. For those of you who might be visiting our campus for the first time, Salve Regina University is a co-ed comprehensive university founded in 1947 by the Sisters of Mercy, a Catholic religious order who from their earliest days were committed to engaging people where they lived. In more recent years, the Sisters of Mercy have identified 5 critical concerns in our society and challenged all of us to find solutions for them. These critical concerns have included the earth, immigration, and nonviolence. When you consider the potential for conflict erupting from environmental catastrophe, a cataclysm that has already unleashed a torrent of migration that strains national borders and narratives, and ultimately international peace and stability, you begin to see precisely why a conference such as this forum grows so naturally from our university's mission. To put it another way, when the Sisters of Mercy and the United States Navy both are concerned about an issue, it's past time for all of us to sit up and take note. Salve Regina is pleased to partner with the U.S. Naval War College in hosting the forum at Newport. And last year, we kicked off the forum across town on the campus of the War College with insightful remarks on climate and security from Lieutenant General Richard Nugent of the British Army. General Nugent's remarks set the stage for the discussions that we'll have today. Discussions that we hope will not just resonate here in Newport, but across the community of citizens, scholars, activists, and public servants who recognize in climate change a clear and present danger. Since the forum began last year, the War College has welcomed a new president, Rear Admiral Darryl L. Walker. Admiral, it is my privilege to congratulate you publicly on your appointment, to welcome you to Newport, and to thank you and your team for the great collaboration we're building between our 2 institutions in the forum at Newport. Colleagues, please give a warm round of applause to Rear Admiral Darryl L. Walker, President of the U.S. Naval War College, as we invite him to the podium.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Armstrong, and truly appreciate being here on behalf of the United States Naval War College. And honestly, I mean, she kind of hit the nail on the head. I wasn't here last year, but when my predecessor left, this was the one thing we talked about. This is the 2nd annual, and we'll bring it back out to the base next year. And we will make sure that we do, increase the access to the base. To get you all out there on the base. And it's truly about, she talked about the issues of what we need to really work on. And it's about ships. And I was just talking briefly to the Honorable Mr. John Kerry, and he was talking about his time officer candidate school here on the base, and he was asking about it. I said, sir, well, really, if I think about this, it's about three types of ships, and he's been doing some sailing. It's friendships, it's partnerships, and relationships. And it's truly the relationships that we have amongst each other is what really where we make the rubber meets the road and we get things done. So, Dr. Armstrong and the team here at Salve Regina, we really appreciate you all hosting it this year. So again, thank you. Honorable John Kerry, sir, thank you for being here today. Your service to the Navy and to the country is just at all for us all. I appreciate you being here. To the Honorable Senator Jack Reed and Sheldon Whitehouse, gentlemen, again, senators for Rhode Island, appreciate your service to the nation and ensuring both the men and women that serve have the resources that they need to support this great country. I know Secretary Del Toro will be here. The 78th Secretary of the Navy should be here shortly, might be landing at Providence International, and we look forward to hearing from him in a little while. Also, Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Energy and Installations and Environments, Meredith Berger. Truly want to thank her for being here. Our Naval War College Foundation, which really does a lot of great work for us. George Lang, I did not see him here. There's George. George, appreciate that, President and CEO for that. And then also my partner in crime over there, Rear Admiral Michael Johnston, again, from the Superintendent of the Coast Guard. Appreciate you being here too. And especially to the Salve Regina team and the Naval War College team for making this happen. The board of directors, and then both of our provosts. Dr. Nancy Schreiber and Dr. Stephen Marioni. If they're both here, please raise your hands and let us know, because you all do the true work behind the presidents that we get to do these types of things. The Chief of Naval Operations has some CNO fellows that she owns, and they work directly for her, and they do a lot of the partnership with our international partners for her on her behalf, and that's Admirals Barra, Verma, and Saunis, and I'm not sure if they're here, but they do a lot of work for not only our international students that come to Newport and work and live amongst you all here in the local area, but they make a lot of things happen with our international partners. I really appreciate it. Our local communities, obviously the mayor of Newport, Rhode Island, and the teammates that I have got to meet over the last 30 days, actually not 30 days yet, it'll be on the 9th, so when that comes around. And then our keynote speakers, I won't go through them all because I was told that they are going to mention them all, but I do want to say, to Captain Andrea Cameron for her role in leading the team and making this a reality from the Navy side of really working with the team here at Salve to make this happen. Appreciate it. So just briefly, the United States Naval War College and Salve Regina are two centers of higher learning that are, interestingly enough, both celebrate key birthdays this year. So Salve Regina celebrated 90th birthday. So congratulations to Salve Regina. And then the Naval War College will celebrate its 140th birthday next month, about 30 days from now. In events like this, and this, as was stated, it's about collaboration. It's about getting information out to each and every one of the people, educating and developing our service, military, and our national leaders, both inside the fence line of a base or outside. So truly, I just want to thank you all again. And just remember that, it's the friendships that you get, the partnerships that you get, and then the relationships that truly matter that make you get things happen. So thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing from our keynote speakers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those wonderful remarks, Admiral Walker. We look forward to working with you and your team to deepen the historic partnership between our two schools. So the forum at Newport has many champions, and Rhode Island's 2 United States senators are at the top of that list. Our next speaker is a dear friend to Salve Regina University, a leader whose voice is respected on both sides of the political aisle, a tireless champion of the men and women of the United States military, and a clear thinker about how new threats like climate change will pose challenges and complicate the missions we give to America's young men and women in uniform. He has encouraged this partnership with our two schools, lent his energy and his ideas, and inspires us all with his lifelong commitment to service. Colleagues, please welcome to the stage Rhode Island Senior Senator, Chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator Jack Reed.
Well, thank you very much, President Armstrong, and thank you and Salve, Regina, for hosting this incredibly important conference on an issue of vital concern to all of us. I want to recognize Admiral Walker. Congratulations. You're an old hand now, 30 days, so keep it up. I know Secretary Del Toro will be here, and he will add immensely to this conversation. But I particularly want to salute two individuals here, Secretary John Kerry and Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. No two people that I know in the public sphere have done more to elevate the issue of climate change and its impact on our lives, and have taken positive action to try to remediate those effects than John and Sheldon. And I thank them all for their great service. This issue is absolutely urgent. We know the impacts of climate change are all around us. This year is likely to be the hottest year in human history. In fact, each of the last 10 years were the 10 hottest years ever recorded in human history. The climate is changing. Canada endured one of its worst forest fires and seasons, which caused us to be breathing smoke from our northern neighbors, not healthy at all. Thousands of people in Libya were killed recently when dams failed after heavy rains. And right now, about 2 billion people, nearly a quarter of humanity, are living under drought conditions. And when there's no water, not only can't you get a drink, but it's very difficult to grow things. And I can recall sitting down with King Abdullah in Jordan, who was very concerned about the rapid loss of agricultural land, which translates into the rapid loss of jobs for young men and women, particularly young men, which further can translate into activities that are not conducive to peace and tranquility. So this is a huge, huge problem. And as suggested, this is not limited to civil effects. There are military effects. They're affecting our training of our troops. For example, extreme heat poses risks to service members' performance and safety, and we have seen how weather can disrupt our activities and deployments all around the world. I just returned yesterday from South Korea, the Philippines, and Guam. First of all, the men and women of our armed forces are doing a remarkable job. They're standing tall and standing for us. But they are facing increasingly difficult challenges, many of them prompted by climate change. Our military bases have been particularly affected. Guam is a case in point. A few months ago, it suffered a horrendous typhoon, which devastated the island. Electricity was knocked out all through the island. We had emergency systems on some of our military bases, but not in homes, not in other critical assets. And so one of the consequences is we're looking now to see if we can put those wires underground. We've saw tremendous damage to facilities. There's a breakwater in Guam that actually allows access to the port, both the civilian port and the naval port. Without that, our Navy could be out of business. That breakwater was built in 1946, and it is under severe pressure at the moment. The typhoon accelerated the demise. Climate change, warming waters have increased the pressure on the breakwater. And we're talking now about a multi-million, perhaps billion-dollar effort to fix it. And what that does is that takes away resources for military technology to be deployed, training to be implemented, and a whole host of things. So climate change is having an increasingly difficult challenge on our military forces. But we can do something about it. We can start being very aggressive about affecting climate change. One thing we've done is that we have, through this administration, passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which is for the first time put us on the side of alternate energy versus hydrocarbons. Big oil versus little people. Little people won that round. In fact, because of some of the efforts we've undertaken, greenhouse gases fell by 2% last year compared to the year before. And that's because we have more renewable energy. And we need much more renewable energy. Now, one of the key leaders in this effort for the Inflation Reduction Act was Senator Whitehouse, with his concern for the environment. And I salute him for that also. We are beginning to invest $370 billion to bring America towards a more greener, brighter future. But also, that means we are going to help the military adapt. We have, through the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, encouraged, quote unquote, the military to use electric vehicle for non-tactical means, so we can reduce electricity, to try alternate energy at installations, solar panels, wind. All of these things we think will help immensely. And by the way, they have a tactical significance too. We lost more casualties in Afghanistan to IEDs because they were driving fuel to our outpost. If we did not have to depend upon petroleum as much as we do, we could have avoided some of those casualties. So we have to be more efficient. It's not a good thing to do, it's a smart thing to do. It's also a good thing to do, but it's a smart thing to do. And it will help our defense immensely. We are, again, trying to encourage more solar, more hydro, more geothermal, and we will keep doing that. We're trying to make our equipment more efficient, and we'll try to do that. This is an effort that must involve all of us, not the least the Department of Defense. And I know Secretary Del Toro will talk in detail of the many programs that he is encouraging. But today is a day to share our best thoughts and combine our best efforts to ensure a world that is more peaceful and prosperous, based not on coal and oil, but alternative fuels. With that, thank you very, very much.